I know it's almost that time. It's either you already finished the school year or you're getting close to the school year because you're doing finals. The reason why I know that, I just got off of a call for a final exams review, and you don't know fast until you see a teacher on the last day of school. Usain Bolt? No. Always running. I'm like, oh, I just need to get something out of my car. And then all of a sudden, like, vroom, completely out. So, because we had such a crazy year, we're kind of getting to the close of it. You're exhausted. I'm just really reaching out to those teachers. And you're just like, I can't. But you're trying to hold on because all you have to do, you're giving your exams, you're grading your exams, you're putting it through the process. Everything is going to be okay. You're almost there. And if you're one of the lucky ones that usually start early and you're basically there now because your last day was just before Memorial Day, congratulations. Now what? So now you have to make that choice. What are you going to do? Like, you had a crazy year, you're just like, I don't know what to do. So after talking to a few tutors and just talking to other teachers throughout the past couple of weeks, I really just wanted to say, you know what? Let me share how I started, how I moved, because a lot of people ask, like, how did you leave? And I always keep saying one foot in front of the other. Like, it really, the door was unlocked and I walked through it. So when it all comes all down to it, it's like you got to do it if you really want to make that plunge. If you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you will find motivation, not so deep down, that will get you up and moving. So basically, what I'm here is I'm going to show you guys that there is an alternative. And I know a lot of people generally don't like to make any kind of moves because we as human beings, we don't like change. Think about it. Every time they want to change the curriculum, what do? We throw a fit. Every time they change it back, we throw a fit. So it's like, I understand that we don't like change, but if you're going to keep year after year complaining, the only person that can make that move or make that change is you. So I want to give like an alternative. So for those that are watching me on Facebook, you can see everything. Instagram, you're going to have to see all my little plugs at the end when I give the replay, because for some reason it doesn't really connect. But I really want you guys, if you're serious about listening, not really just listening, like really want to start a math tutoring business, I'm going to give you as much of the ins and outs of it. It's more than just saying, hey, I'm a tutor. Okay, let me get some students. There's some other ends to it. There's that back end part of it. And I'm going to actually break down as best I can within my little time frame, all the little details that I did when I got started. Okay, some of it, especially the monetary part, is vital. So if you don't have paper, pencil, pen, all right, but really something to write with, to write these things down, you're going to be missing out. Like, these are going to be cha-ching gems. All right. So you can stay in the classroom, and I know, trust me, we need teachers. But I love how people say we need teachers, but you treat us like garbage. Like, we had that one moment during the pandemic that everyone was like, oh my God, this is what teachers do. And they hold us tight. And they're like, you're the best. I will pay for whatever you need. You want a new carpet in your room? I got you. And all of a sudden, like, after everyone started moving back into the classroom, it was like, hi, what happened to that love? And then you're like, people. So, kind of getting into, there is an alternative. Like, yes, you did not go to college and you learned all these things and it's just going to be chucked away. No, you can still use your academic skills to actually make profit and to help a child that is in need to kind of get past their personal barrier so they can advance as well. So, if you want to, if you're here, if you're watching it live, hit the hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, please type in hashtag replay. Kind of helps the algorithm a little bit. And if anything, I want to hear your comment to this. I want to know, what is your fear of starting a tutoring business? And I can tell you what the number one that I kept hearing over and over again, but I'm kind of curious as to what your fear of starting a tutoring business is. I'll wait. Okay, that's enough. Hey, Dave. So, if anything, the one that I keep hearing a lot of is, can I really make money tutoring? Like, are you going to be, I'm dating myself now, the rich and famous, are you going to be like a millionaire? Like, no. If you are, that means you're doing some other things. And we're going to keep that kosher. All right. But for the most part, if it is, all right. I got one that says hashtag live. How are you doing? I don't have your name, but I know you're on Facebook. Um, but for the most part, a lot of people just feel like, can I really make money doing this? Like, am I really going to be able to support my family? Am I really going to be able to, just doing tutoring, be able to make the same amount of money that I make in a classroom? So now that varies. Now I'm going to be truthful. If you haven't known anything about me, I speaketh the truth. Okay. It all depends on where you at. If you're in the Midwest, oh, you're definitely making all your money back, because I know a lot of people in the Midwest are making like around 40K a year, really, or maybe even less. Now, West Coast, you're usually going a little higher end because, your academic is a little bit higher than most. And then East Coast is the same thing. Okay. So could you? Yes, you can. It all depends on how much heart and how much effort you're putting into it, because I'm not saying that, oh, I'm being lazy and that's why I only have two clients. No, there's sometimes like it takes parents a long time to decide, does my child really need tutoring? And I'm like, only a person that can make that decision is going to be the parent. Or sometimes the child will actually go up to the parent and say, I need help tutoring. But is it possible for you to make money? Yes, I'm making money. I got my lights on. I'm living in my house. This is not a background. This is real. Like, everything that you see right here is real, even my crazy glasses right now. But I can make money. I'm paying my mortgage. I'm paying my electric bill. I'm paying all my utilities, my food, everything. And I have students that are happy with the service that I'm getting. So there is a great possibility that you can make money from this. But I'm going to be truthful, it's going to take time. So that's the reason why I wanted to come on tonight. And that's the reason why we're having the topic tonight. So let's talk about my story. Why not? Let me talk about me. So before I became a teacher, I was a professional basketball player, played overseas. I played in college. Right after college, I went overseas, gallivanting all over Europe, Iceland, and Sweden as well, and loved it. But at the same time, after a while, your body gets tired. You get tired of living out of a trunk. I know I did. And when I came back to visit, a friend of mine said, hey, why don't you be like a grad assistant? And I was like, all right, I don't know what I was doing, but I was able to go to school. Hey, I was able to go to school. And at the same time, let me try and get everybody in here. So I was able to go to school and same time coach and doing what I loved. I love playing basketball. I loved coaching. I love breaking things down. So I was there for a bit, and then I still had the player in me. So I went back overseas and played again. And then I was just like, I gotta go. Like, I have to go. So I left, and I just felt like I needed to plant my roots somewhere. So, oh, I'm so glad you love this. Oh, I know you. So just felt like I just needed something. And a friend of mine mentioned, hey, Audrey, why don't you come to the school that I'm going to go to? They need a coach, but also like you have to be a part of the school system. So I'm like, okay. Of that school system, I was just like, it was cool. Like it was different. I was like a, what they call it, instructional assistant, but now they call them a para educator. So when I have like a paraeducator, I'm just helping a lot of the special ed kids. I'm really getting to know teachers and seeing different teacher styles. And that was my education with teachers. Like, that's when I saw some good things and I saw some interesting things. I saw what worked with the kids and what didn't. I saw how a certain teacher was able to reach a child in one class and how that same kid wasn't being reached in another class. And it was all based on their personalities and everything. And that's what sparked with me to be a teacher. Why math? I have no idea. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I have no. I used to. I told you guys multiple times I was terrible at math. But to fast forward, it took me a long time to get certified. I took the praxis 11 times. Yes, 1 1. I took it 11 times, and I was one of those people that after I took the praxis, I went ahead and signed up for the next one because I'm like, for me, I don't know why it was something that I wanted. And then the head department, he was like, no, she was like, you know what? I think you would be good at being a teacher. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she was like, you know what? I want you to take one of my classes. We'll put a lesson plan together. Didn't know what a lesson plan was, but here we were. Put a lesson plan together, and we're going to have you teach my class. I was like, okay. Sat down, worked with her, and the very next day taught. Of course, it was fourth period, the last period of the day. So all day I've just been like, what? And here's my thing. I loved it. The kids were very patient with me, but they were able to get the understanding of it. I was able to break it down and understand it myself. And that's how I got the bug. So I was determined. I was like, you know what? I really want to be a teacher. I took all those basic classes at CCBC and I did it all in 1 year. Hello, crack. Yes, definitely went overboard and just really wanted it. And it was heartbreaking. There were so many times I got to like 1 point of the praxis. And then the next time you take the test, you're down 13. And then the next time, oh, you missed it by 4. And then the next time you missed it by 20. And you're like, oh, can't keep up. But once I finally got that score, I knew I was set. I was at a school and I didn't go through student teaching. I didn't have that. But all I had was that determination, that drive, and someone gave me opportunity and I took it and I ran with it. So kept going, and then here we are. 18 years later, 2 weeks before the pandemic, I was done. I was so done. Told my principal that I wasn't going to come back, but I was going to finish the year out because I'm not one of those type of people like, yeah, peace out. I just really just had to go. I loved my students. I really did, but the whole situation was stressful. Like, no matter how I try to motivate myself on the drive there, I'll be perfectly fine. But as soon as I get to that parking lot and I step into that building, all of a sudden, all emotions hit me hard. And then I'll go into my classroom, and it's weird because exactly at 8 a.m. every day, crying, hysterical, like ugly cry because I wasn't happy. I was working at a school where they were teaching out 2 different curriculums, and I didn't know it. Like, there was no communication, things were all over the place. And the only consistency that the kids had was in my class. And of course, I was the outsider. So after a while, I was like, you know what? I need to find something else. But I worked so hard to be a teacher. And I worked so hard to mold minds, and I loved it. But then I couldn't stay in the classroom anymore. I was like, have any of you guys felt that way? Put it in the chat because I'm going to go to the chat right now. I got a couple people saying hello. Um, we have like Natasha. She's saying that, yes, that is what I was thinking sometimes. Probably like, can I really make money off of this? Another person said, I am not afraid of the tutoring business per se, but I'm afraid of putting myself out, or better saying, I know I need to advertise it, but sometimes it's holding me back. Yes, we're going to talk about that today. Oops, trying to scroll here. One person's asking me, like, do you work full or part-time? I work full-time. I took the plunge. I couldn't take it. Then I got a hey from Robert. Robert and I have been tutoring for the longest time. He's amazing with calculus, Main Street tutoring. See, I do plugs for everyone. So Main Street calculus tutoring up there. Then we have a couple, maybe me acting crazy. Yeah, with the determination, Natasha. Yes, I'm telling you, like it was heartbreaking when, especially when you're like 1 point away from that praxis. And now the praxis is different. They don't have middle school and secondary anymore. It's like everyone's got to learn that one thing. And that's why we in Maryland, we're struggling to get math teachers, but we'll talk about that later. Then we have another Facebook user that's saying, hey, Karen McCall, hey, did you attend? Yes, she did. Happy to see you here. You're awesome. Oh, I think I'm like very motivating. Thank you. And also, yeah, 25 years missing a lot of hair. All nails back. You're lucky you got nails. Mine are just starting to grow back, and I've been tutoring for 3 years now. Um, there were things on there that I've never seen before. Yes. So when it comes down to, oh, let me switch over. Gotcha. So, I mean, that's basically the gist of my story. I'm not a type of person that likes to keep talking about me because I really want to get down to the stuff that you guys need. So we already hit the, again, if you are seeing this live, hit hashtag live. If you're seeing the replay, just go ahead and hit hashtag replay. But for today, are you ready? We're going to get started with the writing. So there's basically 5 components, all right? 5 components that really touches on what you need. Now, one of them is something that you can do right now just in case you're kind of on the fence, all right? So you're like, I think I want to do it, but I'm not sure if I want to take the jump. Okay, well, this is what one thing that you can definitely do. One, let's think of your trade name. Think of your name. Like, what is it that you want to call your business? That's something that's light. You can kind of think of it. Don't go all kinds of crazy like boo boo sha la 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 nation tutoring station, tutoring sensation. Nothing too crazy. Okay? So, because when you think about your name, this is going to be a name that you're going to say over and over and over again. It took me a while for me to do ACG math tutoring because originally it was my initials, but now I'm no longer the G, but I still think of it as algebra, college algebra, and geometry. It works, right? So it took me a while for me to kind of wrap my mind around how to say it just off the tongue. So I put like a little spiel like ACG math tutoring, and like just like whole 70s like advertisement, little commercial type of jingle. So it helped me. I was because now all of a sudden when I answer people like, "Hey, this is Audrey Codner from ACG math tutoring," and I still do the neck move, which is hilarious. My life. So, but having that trade name. Don't have to get too crazy with it. Something that it could be your initials. It could be something that you love. It could be something that's connected to what you're going to be tutoring. And, everyone wants to say, like here in the States, we call it tutoring. Overseas, a lot of people call it tuition. So if you see people that are like, who's a tuition? Like, what? That's the reason why they call it tuition. They have tutorials, whereas we have tutoring sessions. So that's the only slight difference. But the other thing, especially for us in the States, we have to figure out what is a trade name, one. Two, make sure no one else has that. So you might have to go into your state, or I like to do like a Google search and I put like quotations around it to see if anyone else has that name, like the exact name. So if they say ACG Math Tutoring LLC, I know there's definitely an ACG Math out there when I was looking. So I couldn't just say ACG Math. I had to put the tutoring in there because that's what made it a little more to me. So always check to see if someone else is using your name because you don't want to put any money because when you trademark your name, that's money. You don't want to waste any money on there. And also you don't want to like start buying things like, oh, let me put t-shirts and sweatbands and sweatpants and all this stuff. Slow down. Think of the name, see if it sticks. If you're not sure, you can kind of do like talk to your friends, do a quick little post or send a text message like, you know what? These are the 2 or the 3 names I'm thinking about. What do you think? But no matter what, you're going to be the final decision. Okay. So besides that, we got to get to the business part of it. Are you going to be a sole proprietor? Or are you going to be an LLC? Now, here's the thing. This is all based on taxes. Okay. So when you're a sole proprietor, when you're first starting out, you don't really have a whole lot of business coming in. But when you're a sole proprietor, it's almost like everything you own is a part of it. So, like the business, your home, your cars, your bank accounts, if anything, say you get a disgruntled client, I haven't got one, knock on wood yet, but to the point that they don't like the service, oh, you did something horrible, they can sue you. But here's my thing. You're a service. And this is where a lot of people put the fear of God in you, right? They're like, oh, I don't want to be sued. I don't breathe. You're not doing anything that's going to cause harm to a child. It's not like you're making cookies and all of a sudden a peanut accidentally falls into the batter and then that person that's allergic to peanuts all of a sudden has a major reaction. You're not doing any of that. So that's why, like, when you want to give gifts to your clients, be careful with food because you don't know who has a reaction, yes or no. So keep it simple. When it comes to having a sole proprietor, like right now, I'll be truthful, I'm a sole proprietor. I'm definitely doing sole because I'm like, look, this is what I got. But eventually, start of next year, I'm going to be an LLC because I'm starting to branch out. I'm going into more of like the coaching style. Hence, that's why we're here. So since I'm going more into that, I want to be a little bit covered. I get more protection. You have a little more insurance. But if you're a type of person that's thinking about tutoring not online, but also on in person, it's also good to have the LLC. Even if you're going to like, where did I used to go? Panera Bread or um, where else? Coffee houses, libraries. When people come in and out, God forbid if someone trips or falls down the steps, they're inside the building. So they're going to be covered by, like, say, the library's insurance. But you want to have some coverage as well, just in case they say, well, the reason why I was in that building is because I was doing tutoring. So having an LLC, it kind of gives you that limited liability coverage. So it gives you that little extra, like, if anything comes up, I'm covered. I don't have to worry about that. So you're going to have to go through your state to see what exactly the funds or what is the fee for that. I know some people probably, you might want to write this down. Some people has visited like Zen Business. You can go through there. There is, but your states also have like other ways of getting LLCs. There's this other one that you can get your LLC. I forgot the name of it. Something Tailor made. I'll think of it as soon as I put my head on my pillow. It's gonna happen. But there was one that I saw like advertises for it, and it just seemed like last year everybody was talking about LLCs. Everybody. This year, a lot of people are talking about corporations like S corps. So when they're talking about those corporations, that's when you really get the tax breaks. So right now, since you're just starting off, one, take a breath, and then two, think about what you want to cover. My suggestion, hey, how you doing, Smart Start? My suggestion is you can either look at YouTube videos on the difference between a sole proprietor and an LLC, I know in my group, I'm thinking of people to invite to have like mini discussions about that, because that's the part that we as tutors struggle with. We can do teaching all day, but how we're going to deal with our taxes, how we're going to be protected, that business side of it, that's where we struggle with. So just to kind of like give you a little extra hint, go ahead and do a search on YouTube. There's a couple that are really good, but if you want to venture, remember every state charges differently. So I'm in Maryland, and of course we're expensive as anything else, but I have a friend that's in Virginia and hers is like hella cheap. And I'm like, not fair. So so my thing is like look at your small business associations for your state, or just go to your state taxation. Sorry, I had to write it down. Department of Assessment and Taxation. So wherever state you're in, if you go to that, they usually have like an express. So I know they usually have like an express, and you can actually ask those questions. I know every time I called, someone answered the phone. So I was like, hey, this is awesome. All right, so let me get into the comments. All right, so we got some hashtag lives. How much does it cost for the trademark? Again, that depends on your state. Now, I know for me, mine was like 125. It's been a couple of years ago. So, things have gone up since the pandemic. So, last time I checked, it was like 125 for me. But again, every state is different. Some states you might not have to pay anything. Especially in some states that don't really have the taxations that much for their state, but they do have the federal. So again, that's going to be something that you want to look at your assessment and trademark, Department of Assessment and Trademark, and sorry, Department of Assessment and Taxation. So take a look at wherever your state is, and they'll help you out. Okay. All right. So I'm so happy that everyone's here. Now, this is the big one. Before you jump in, I know some people are sticking their big toe in the water of tutoring. But before you're just like, screw it, let me jump in. I need for you to make sure that you budget at least a year and a half to 2 years of your finances. And I know a lot of people are like, whoa. I'm like, think about it. Your first year, you're just in the development stage. Like if you become fully booked your first year and everything is rolling with you, I am so proud of you. Go you, woo woo. But remember, with tutoring, if you're thinking that you're going to tutor for 52 weeks out of the year, I know for secondary, that's not going to happen. Tutoring goes like this. You have your highs and you have your lows. Okay. Beginning of the school year, possibly mid to late September, you're starting to get students. October, that's when it starts peaking up, because what happens around October? The end of the first quarter. So then all of a sudden parents are seeing grades and they're like, oh no, you need a tutor. So then October, sweet spot. November, we're keeping it moving. It starts to slow down a little bit because of Thanksgiving, but it doesn't die out, right? Christmas or the winter break, that's when you're like crickets. Plus, you need a break as well. But you're going to have to budget yourself enough to basically have those fillers, if I shall say. So like for me, I tried to, especially this year, I did a course. Like I designed a course. So for kids that do want to get some tutoring over the break, which is not that many, really, I just had 2 kids. That's it. And then I just like picked a day that they can come in on a Zoom call and we can chat and say, hey, okay, how's it going? What are you up to? What's going on? How's it going with the math? And we did that. This was the best Christmas that I've ever done, because I didn't have to sit and wait. Is that kid going to come on? Is that kid going to come on? And all of a sudden the parents like, oh, we decided that we're going to take a vacation. And then and kinds of craziness happen. So with all that being said, It's good to have that when they come back from break in January, it starts picking back up again. February really starts picking back up again. You might get more clients, newer clients. March, you're busy because there's no breaks, no nothing. So March, you're completely busy. April, especially before spring break, it starts to die down a little bit, but then it picks right back up when they come back from spring break. And so that's April, May, mad busy because depending on what grade you have, you're constantly getting kids, especially getting ready for their finals, or they're trying to pull the Hail Mary so they can be able to keep their grades or to improve their grades so they don't have to go to summer school. I get a lot of those people. Or I get a lot of adults as well that are going back to school and they're just at their last class and they just need some assistance. But then June, it starts dying down again. Okay. So June, July, August, that's a huge gap. So you're probably going to be working maybe like 34, possibly 35 weeks out of the year. So do you see why I say before you jump in, make sure you have some money saved up because bills are going to keep coming regardless. So I know for me, like I saved up, but still I was like, oh, I only have 4 students all year. Wow. Because I didn't promote. I had someone to help guide me, but when it came to the marketing, I didn't know. When it came to how to talk to other people, I didn't know. So always have that budget. And when you have that budget, the last part, make sure you have a business plan. Plan out. Try to plan out what you want. How many students do you need? How much money you want to make a year? How many students do you need in order to make that happen and at what price? Or if you're like me, I have a variation of prices. Like sometimes I have my top end and I have my low end. I have some kids that are, doing what they can do. I have some kids that can pay full and that's it. But that's me. So other people like to charge monthly. There's nothing wrong with that. There are some people that are all gun ho with group coaching. There's nothing wrong with that. One major thing I want you to know is this is your business. I'm just sharing what I've done and some of the mistakes that I have that I've learned from. But at the same time, this is your business. So how you want to arrange it, how you want to grow from it. All right. So that was one. We got 4 more. How are you doing? Do you have a cramp yet? Are you writing everything down? So, the second one, this is huge for me. Even though we're going to make changes of making a name, doing the business side of it, learning a little bit of the business side, the major part is you got to change your mindset. You are no longer a teacher, a classroom teacher. You're an instructor. You're no longer a classroom teacher. That means you are no longer a martyr to wherever school system that you are shackled to. Yeah, it's this intense. Okay? You're no longer that. You get to decide who you want to tutor. You get to decide how you want to tutor them. And you're taking a look at what they're currently doing and you're helping them basically be a translator of what's going on. You're not doing lesson plans. Unless you are doing a course, maybe a course for the summer during those downtimes, you're doing a course for the summer. Yeah, you're going to have your lesson plans, you're going to have your organization. But during the year, you are not doing lesson plans. You don't have to give them homework assignments. They have a teacher for that. You're basically getting paid to help translate what is going on. You're taking this individual child and you're breaking these concepts down so they can build their confidence up so they can apply it to their work. That's it. So, like I said, for ACG Math Tutoring, my motto is, build confidence and learn to apply. That's it. That's all you're doing. Nothing else. Okay. So if you're like trying, oh, I'm going to do this lesson plan and stop. It's too much. Okay. So while you're doing all this, you need to know your worth. So this is when you really have to be humble. You have to take a moment and be humble and to really think what you are worth. How much do you want to charge? Because you're not being paid per hour. Let me clarify that because I think a lot of people think that you're a teacher and they could just treat you any which way. No, you are basically giving value. You are taking your concept, your knowledge, your intelligence, your experiences to help break concepts and barriers down for that student. Because sometimes a lot of these kids, their parents also had a fear of math. So they're just like, oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my God. And before you know it, that kid is going to take everything that you're breaking down and they're going to be able to do it. And that's the whole concept. So you have to know your worth. If you want to charge $20 an hour, that's you. If that's what you want, go ahead and do that. If you want to charge $150 an hour, God bless you. See who's basically taking on. It's possible. Trust me, it's possible because it also depends on the economic background of your area. You know, if you're in a very well off area, why not? But know your worth. If you want to write it down in a way saying that you are not just staying with me for an hour, you're staying with me for the value until it's all done, all gone, all done. Can't speak. Okay. Hey, Jalen. So when you're making your business plans, just remember you're a tutor now. Okay. I know I always have to tell people when people are like, stop doing the lesson plan. Why? Stop. Just stop. Okay. And then also know your worth, how much you want to charge. Now, third one is material. Okay. Keep it simple. Everybody wants to get super expensive. Everybody wants to like, I want to have the latest microphone. I want to have the latest camera. I want to have the big time computer. I want to use like a big 48-inch screen. Slow down. Just relax. Okay. You need a computer. My suggestion, get a writing pad. Okay. Notice I'm 6'1". You can't really tell I'm sitting down, but I'm 6'1". And look at this itty bitty pad. Okay. I don't really need a big pad. This is like a 5x7 and it does everything that I wanted to do. Okay. I'm able to, it doesn't take too much space from my desk. I'm able to do what I need to do and I keep it moving. So this is the XP pen, but again, Amazon, pick what you want to pick. You don't have to get the top end. Trust me, you don't have to get the top end. All right. Um, Also get some kind of scheduler that has that payment plan. So any kind of how you're going to collect your payments. My suggestion, no invoices. No. That's the easiest way for you to lose your mind. Because now you got to figure out, all right, who did I pay? Who did I not pay? The first year, guess what? There was like at least 5 times I forgot to get payments from people because I was so into the teaching and I'm like, yes, it's amazing. Um, but try to get a scheduler. You know, you can do Calendly, you can also go through Stripe, you can also go through PayPal, but something that is going to be able to collect your funds. For me, I use what's called fonz.app. He is actually on Facebook as Eric Bannon. He's amazing. I've been with them for 3 years. Prior to that, I was Tutorbird, but I think Tutorbird has changed since then. So I don't want to like ban anybody, but in the beginning, that's where I started with Tutorbird. It wasn't for me, it didn't fit me, but then Fonz just really fit me. And the customer service, impeccable. Like hands down. If someone's card got rejected, they will fight for you. They will try 4 times to collect payments. And if they don't get anything by the 4th time, they'll send me an email and say, we tried 4 times. They already gave me emails of when they tried. I think you might need to get in touch with that client. So Those are like pretty good things. So let me pause here for a sec before I get to the last part. To the comments. Yep, this is like my writing pad is my tablet. Hey, that's fine. What is this pad called? It's XP Pen, Pen. I might even see if I won't be able to get any kind of comments in here, but it's an XP Pen and it comes with a pen, electronic pen. It comes up with little tips. I've been using the same tip for almost like a year and a half now, and it seems pretty okay. But you can get them on Amazon anywhere, and I think it ranges from this is the last time I did them because remember this is a couple years now. Like it was like in around the 20 to, and it could go up to like 50 something dollars. Me personally, I went with the $26 one. So I think this was like 26 or 27 after taxes. Um, let's see what this one is. I'm going to use my website company, PayPal, and Venmo. Pay before you get a link. Yes. Before you give anything, you make sure yes, because there is a lot of scammers. There's one scam that's going around. They changed the name, but it's the same scam. They'll say, oh, I want to hire you for like 3 sessions. And yeah, let's just get started. And then you get excited and you do that one session because you're like, oh my God, I'm so, you're sitting around, you're waiting for the one session and you do it. And then next thing you know, you're like, okay, where am I going to get paid? And they're like, oh, things are a little tough, a little tight. No. Mm-mm. So before you do anything, that's the one thing I like about Fonz. They send me an announcement saying that this person's ready to rock, knowing that okay, before I get started, you have all your information in there, you put your card information in there. And the one thing I love about it is if I have a no call, no show, this is my policy that when there's a no call, no show, I get paid in full. So I'm all about communication. I know things happen, people get sick last minute. I get it. That will make adjustments to. But if you don't show up, it automatically comes off their card. I don't have to chase after them. There's no discussion about it. I'm not calling you to remind it. It sends reminders as well. Like, see, get something that sends reminders just to be a courtesy. Not you have to constantly type and remind them or text them to remind them. We're not doing any of that. Let's say it Bluetooths. No, mine is a plug and play. So that means it has like a USB cord. It goes into one of my USB cords. I'm not sure if I can show you this lovely doodad. Because things like going crazy. So this one, I just have like an extension and I can put all my stuff in there. And one of them is this one right here is to my writing tablet. And again, Amazon, because sometimes my internet goes wonky all of a sudden. Let's see. So iPad will work the same. Yes, iPad can work the same. I don't trust anyone. I was like, all right, hey, you can't because now you really have to be a business person. Like it's almost like you have to have, as Beyonce has her Sasha Fierce type mentality. You have to have your Sasha Fierce when it comes to business. Like I'm a sweet person. I love you dearly. I love people, but at the same time, like when it's time for business, I'm like cutthroat. Like you're like, all right, I'm gonna give you a great service, but don't mess with my money. Like, don't make me wait for anything. Mm-mm, no. What would be a good cancellation policy? That's a good question. So for me, a lot of people like to do 24 hours. I like to do 24 hours. If they cancel less time to that, let's say 12 hours, you can cancel, but I'm going to take half of your payment because right now, especially if it's a time that's really busy, like right now, this is crazy. I'm surprised I made sure I blocked off like an hour and a half because I have California at 10 o'clock tonight. Yay! and they should be done. Um, so when it comes down to the cancellation policy, I could easily put someone in that spot. So like you're taking a spot and a paid spot. So when you just up and cancel, and especially those last minute ones, eventually you don't get paid. And that sucks because then it adds up. And all of a sudden, your mortgage is still going to be the same payment or rent. Your utilities are going to be, well, unless you're paying gas, um, will be exactly the same. So it's like when you're missing out of that, for me, I just say, all right, anything less than 24 hours, I'm going to take half of what that payment is. And once I take half of that payment, at least I got something from it. And then I go to other people and say, hey, instead of us meeting at 8:30, would you like to meet at 7:30 because I just got a cancellation? And then I could try to get everyone early so I'm not losing my mind, right? Okay. Oh, not a problem. So, okay, yes, I love this. Me too, but business is business, right? You got to do. Do you get paid up front? Is it weekly or monthly? For me, I do per session. I know it's old school, but a lot of my parents like that. They like the fact that if anything should happen or something, they have that flexibility. And I'm perfectly fine with that. And then especially when I do that, it seems like I get more clients that way. I don't know. It just seems to work with me. So for me, I charge per session. And if we happen to go over, like if we go over like 5 minutes, all right, that's fine. But there are some students that I had, they're like, yeah, I want to have a session. And then all of a sudden they're sending me their work and it's like a stack like this. And I'm like, baby, we only here for an hour. He's like, yeah, but I gotta get all this done. And there was one client that I had 4 hours. Oh dear God. I can't even say his name. But yeah, 4 hours. It was nice. It was a nice little change. They were paying my top dollar, and the mother also tipped me. I wouldn't suggest that. It's just like, kid, you're killing me. But that's basically generally what I did. I don't know if I can ever do it again, but once in a while. He's doing better in math now. So thank the Lord. Um, okay, so someone said that this is a good policy. Thanks, not a problem. Because time is money. Yes, it is. I'm old school too, definitely. All right, okay, thanks, Natasha. Not a problem. Um, they like not having a contract. They like not having a contract or learn long-term commitment. Yeah, I still for me, when it comes to contracts, I know that I'm a service provider. And if it's going to be something that's going to happen here and there, I can see that as like a full on contract. What I give my parents is like a little bit less strenuous, which is a terms and conditions. So it's very similar. It's just different terminology. But when people see contract, there's a slight moment of freak out. But when I say these are my terms and conditions, this is what I do. Like I want you to submit the stuff at this time, like an hour or 2 hours ahead of the session. I want the reason why I'm blocking off an hour, but I'm really going up to like 45 minutes. But if your child needs that extra time, we can get that extra time because I try to charge based on value, not so much on I gotta give you exactly an hour because there's times that we'll do stuff and the kid's like, oh, I totally get it now. And then I do some extra problems and they're just like, oh, I get it. And that's no, you look at the clock and you just went for like 45 minutes and you're like, what am I going to do for the next 15 minutes? Like, I'm not going to kill this kid. You're not going to beat a dead horse because once the kid understands it and then you say, okay, here's some problems for you to do. And then he does the problems or she does the problems and they do it extremely well. You're like, okay, how about some of this? Maybe something that they had trouble before, and then you notice, and if you're done in 45 minutes, you're done in 45 minutes. So for me, I'm definitely changing. Well, I changed my terms and conditions to say that I'm going to get paid based on value. Like, what do they need working on? I also look at some of the stuff that they had trouble with before. Usually it's multiplication. Um, and then we just really hit hard on those things while we're doing the concepts that they're currently doing. So, all right, another person says they charge per hour or per session, like I do. I would need a nap between 4 hours. Yes, trust me, it was a very hard. It was like a Thursday too, so at that time I wasn't teaching on or tutoring on Fridays. How about rules, like behavior rules? I maybe I don't want to say it's a gift. I'm a type of person that when I was in the classroom, I was that one teacher that if they saw me, they went the other way. But when it came to, do I want your camera on? Yes, I do. If the camera is not on, I record it and then I send the recording to the parent and say, this is what I see. So if this is not going to work out, then I'm going to have to remove myself. And good luck with finding another tutor because I'm not going to subject this to another tutor. And the very next session, completely different. Got the camera on, kids sitting in the desk because parents want to get results. And sometimes, the kids will try you because they're kids. They're going to try you. So as they're kind of like trying you, and I just feel like, look, for me, I have secondary. So maybe that's probably a little bit different. Especially if you have like elementary, they're always like, that's half an hour. Like, my goodness. I have yet to see anybody be able to work with a kid for an hour um, doing tutoring. Half an hour, 45 minutes at the absolute most for elementary. Um, and then for me, secondary, I'm just very, why are you hiding the camera? We don't got time for that. Let's get this stuff done. Let's go. So usually that's how I do with, I try not to give too much rules. I'm like, I'm trying to treat you like what you're about to be because I have secondary. You are about to go into the ninth grade. You're about to go into high school. No one has time for that foolishness. Okay. Or you're about to be a college student. No one really has time for that foolishness. So it's mostly I see it in the middle school. Some kids transition it as ninth graders, like, oh, I don't want to have my camera on. I'm like, put your camera on. It's either put the camera on or I just have to dismiss you for the rest of the time. And next time I'll be like, all right, well, next time I want the camera on. I want to see your lovely face because that's how I know if you know it, yes or no. Okay. All right. So that's what I'm thinking of. Terms and conditions. Yes. I'm calling mine 50 minutes, but leaves 10 minutes for overtime. Yes. Trust and believe. Do not make the same mistake that I did. I went from, say 4 to 5, and then I took 15 minutes off to take care of whatever. But then all of a sudden I noticed saying that, hey, I'm tutoring at 11, 12 o'clock at night. Yes. I actually had a midnight kid in Ohio. Yeah. Not that much of a time difference. So I think like 45 to 50 minutes will be best. Because then you have that built-in 10 minutes to get a drink, take care of something, put the laundry from the washer to the dryer, whatever, because you're always doing everything. So, yep, free 10 minutes, of course. I love the comments, guys. Like, I don't want them on their cursing. Oh, all right. So that's the whole thing. If someone's all of a sudden they're cursing up a storm, stop it. You don't have to keep that kid. I'm sorry. I know you're like, well, Audrey, I really want the money. Guess what? There's how many billions of people on this planet? One kid is not going to destroy you. No, ma'am or sir. Not doing it. Okay. You decide who you want. That's the whole mindset that I was talking about. You need to shed that. Okay? Just shed it. You got to get rid of it. You're no longer a martyr. You don't have to take every single solitary kid. You can, and that's why sometimes I like to do what's called a meet and greet. So I get to meet them with their parents there and the kid. And I want to hear both sides of the story. What's going on from a parent's perspective? What's going on from a kid's perspective? So when that's happening, and if you got a kid that's straight cursing, forget that baby girl or baby boy. You don't have to do that. No, there's tons of other people. You don't have to deal with that cursing. Okay. No, no. 25 years of middle school, and we'll be facing middle school. Yes, we'll be focusing on middle school. Yes. All right. Yeah, we can't see their expressions, and we know that we're sick. Right. Because everyone could be like, "Oh, are you fine?" Yeah, I'm fine. No, you're not. Don't lie to me. What's wrong? Where should I go? Should I start from the very beginning? What part did you get right? When you see a facial expression, they can say it like, yeah, it's good. It's fine. No, it's not. Stop lying to me. You know? Yes. Yeah. Especially it was a high schooler. So yeah, they're up playing video games. Why not be up doing math? Especially if they want to pass that class, right? So that is why I'm trying to come up with a good online class behavior policy. Yes. So with behaviors, I think the simple, like keep it simple if you're going to do behavior policy. Like sometimes you can. It's a matter of I would like for you to be seating at a desk. I would like for you to not have too much distractions because most of the time it's the parents that are very distracted. I'm like, girl, I don't need to see you have butt naked walking across over here. I understand that this is the kitchen table, but I don't need for you yelling while you're on the phone with the TV blaring. Sometimes it's the parents that are like the disruptives. So, but when it comes to the behavioral, it's just like, look, I need for you to find a quiet space and tell the parents this in the beginning. Even though you have a lot of this stuff written out, and for me, I have some of it written out in my terms and conditions, I verbalize this during the meet and greet. So there is no like, oh, well, I'm like, no. Can you show me roughly where your child's going to be studying? I'm like, right now, this is a busy area. Okay. You guys got this person playing video games over here. You got this person watching whatever over there. It's too busy. So they got to be somewhere in a quiet space. And especially if they're younger, I would like the parent to be in the background. Sometimes I tell them to take out some paper. You're going to be here helicoptering? Let's go. You're going to learn too. Because when I'm not around, you're going to be my backup. And some parents are like, oh, I'm cool with that. And some parents are like, I'll let you do what you got to do. So that's going to be like up to you. But when it comes to behavior policy, think about I want you sitting. I want to see your face. Make sure you have clothes on. Believe it or not, in the beginning, it was all kinds of crazy. Um, and what will be appropriate. That's it. Keep it simple. Because if you go with a whole lot of rules, you're gonna lose a lot of kids. Okay. Let's say, okay, that's a great idea. Meet and greet. Yes. Meet and greets are like my staple. That's like I'm all about the meet and greet. Okay. Lots of comments. I love it, guys. I know you're probably like, when is this going to end? Until it's over. Um, this is a lot. I know it's a lot. All right. So, and the other thing, like, don't go crazy spending on a lot of memberships when it comes to materials. You can use your old materials. You can use your old notes. You can use your old note textbooks. I also have my old notes over there, and sometimes I take pictures of it and I put it on my OneNote, and we just go through stuff. But majority of the time, the kids are going to be providing what they want to work on. So it may be a homework assignment, but then you can take questions from that homework assignment and pull. That's why I like for the kids to send their stuff ahead of time. Then I can be like, oh, you're working on trig. So, oh, you're working on just finding the side of the right triangle using trick. Okay, so I can pull some problems. So I have some problems. Okay, now look at number one in your homework assignment. Walk me through how you would do that. So you're helping them with their homework, but at the same time, you're not helping them. You're not doing their homework for them. Okay. So some people, I know some tutors that are just straight up like, let's do your homework. Let's get that done. But then there's some that will actually pull some problems from their homework assignments and like pull from like textbooks as similar to it, and then they'll refer back to the homework. So then you are that support person. So that's generally how I do mine. All right. So with the questions, how are we feeling so far? Overwhelmed? Are you? And then number three, I got two more. um, got a couple of questions. Ignore my typos. Oh, don't worry about that. I'm so I hope this is being recorded because I have to go now. No problem. Love it. It's definitely going to be recorded and I will be up on the replay. So good. People feeling good. Great. All right. So we talked about number four, actually. We looked at those policies, those terms and conditions. We talked about that. Some people like to do contracts with your pricing. My suggestion, if you are doing a website, which right now, early stages, really don't have it. You don't really have to put it on there. Don't put your price on there. Okay. You don't want people to shop and treat you like, oh, well, someone else is cheaper. No, I want you to come to me because you like my website. There is a video on your website if you are doing website or landing page. There's a video that shows your personality, maybe shows sample of what you do. Like how would you tutor? What are some of the things that you would do? Something like that. Because what people are doing when they go to websites, all they're doing is, okay, what's your name? All right, what do you do? Can you solve my problem, which is my child to stop crying and stop failing and for me not to lose my mind? You can do that? Cool. What do I have to do? I just have to fill out this contact information. You're going to call me back. And that's when you have the conversation. You're like, okay, so when are you available? All right, let's pick a time so we can talk, go on a Zoom call. So, one, they get used to going to Zoom. Believe it or not, there's people that still struggle with Zoom. Um, have them go into Zoom, have the child, have the parent there, have that meet and greet, have that discussion. If you want to, you could like say, all right, I don't know, I'm just throwing a name out there, Andy. Hey Andy, what are you currently working on? Let's see if we could take a couple look at what you're doing. You can do that. If you want to do a sample of something, and then you're like, okay, all right, cool, gives me an idea. Instead of you buying an assessment. Kids are constantly being assessed. Why are you using an assessment if you can use what they're currently working on? Plus, they hate assessments. So you're starting your relationship on a bad foot. They're like, oh, this lady made me do an assessment. This is stupid. And all of a sudden, they don't like it. Talk to them. Okay. So when I say a privacy policy for your website, every website has to have one. Okay. If you need a format, if you need a person, there's this person named Braden. He's amazing. Easy to understand any terminology, sorry, terms and conditions, privacy policies, anything legal, he is the one to go to. So if anything, just message me later and then I can give you all that information. He's amazeballs. Okay. So that's one whole thing with the pricing. And drum roll, please. Number five. So I won't be here. Almost an hour. My goodness. Tell everyone what you're doing. Tell everyone, your friends, people that you went to college with, people that you went to your professional developments as, like, remember as teachers, you used to go to those sickening professional developments that you felt that wasted your time and you had your professional development buddy. Tell your professional development buddy. Tell people that you really connected well with. Talk to the counselors at your current schools or schools that you left on a good note. Don't want to talk to the people that you were just like, hopefully you all left on a good note. Talk to family and friends. If you want to, you can put, like, say, a flyer together. Something nice and easy. I'm going to talk one way about how to do that. Put a flyer together, have it electronically, and send it to them and ask them to share it on their social media platform, because you may not have all of the same friends. Okay. A lot of the people that I get are word of mouth, especially this year. The last month, no, in May, I got 5 new clients by word of mouth. I got 3 new clients from TikTok, but we'll talk about that later. But and they worked out very well. So it's kind of like, put things together that you can send out and tell everyone, do not be afraid. Fear is made up. It's a made up thing. Okay? There's nothing to fear. What's going to happen? Maybe someone doesn't put it on their social media platform. Okay. But there's another friend that you have, and a lot of the resources that you have, it's right here on your phone. Send a text message. Make it cutesy. Say, hey guys, I know you haven't seen me in a while, but guess what? I'm venturing into something new. And I'm wondering if you could help spread the word for me. Put it on your social media platform. Put it on your Instagram, on your Facebook, on your TikTok, on your LinkedIn, whatever. Help me share and spread the word. You're going to need for people to hear you, to see you, and to really get to know you. Because if they don't know who you are, they're not going to open up their wallets. Think about it. Like, if some random guy came up to me like, hey, what's up, babe? How you doing? Want to get married? I'm like, whoa! Like right now, trying to get rid of one, you trying to sneak up in there. You know? And it seems weird because when they're all up in your face, you're like, whoa, you, what do you want? Same thing when it comes to this. And I hate to say the word sales, because that's what it is. Like we said earlier, business is business. But people don't want to work with someone they don't know. They rather go to big names, but they're just like, yeah, I'm not able to get the same tutor, because that's what happens to a lot of those programs. And that's where I'm a little bit different. I stay a little later, as I mentioned, but I also work with athletes. I work with students that are involved in activities. I work with adults that are like trying to change their lives, either with GEDs or they're trying to get a promotion at their job, or, I try to do something different because I know at 8 o'clock, most of those big franchise tutoring businesses are closed. I know I open my doors 7 days a week. Even though on Saturday I might have like one or maybe 2 kids on Saturday, but it's all right. I'm perfectly fine with that. Maybe you guys are like, I'm just want to be Monday through Friday, Audrey. That's it. Not a problem. You get to change that. You get to do whatever you want. For me, Sundays are really big, especially during the school year. And Wednesdays, I don't know what it is about Wednesdays. Everybody wants a Wednesday. So Sundays and Wednesdays were like my most popular. At one point it was Thursday, and then everybody's wanted to switch to Wednesday. I don't know. But for the most part, that's what it comes down to. Like, you really need to get the word out. So right now, as I'm about to go back to the comments, like, what's one of your biggest takeaway? All right, so I talked a lot. I'm like, there's a lot going on here. But for the most part, hey, sheephead. Um, it just seems like, one, you gotta get your business part together. You have to get all that, get your trademark, figure out what your business plan is, make sure you save up money for your budget. That's that first one. Let me just actually shoot around here to kind of get to that. Number two was changing that mindset. Okay. Knowing your worth. Don't cheapen yourself. You know what you're worth. You know you can get that money out there. Come on. You got the ability. Let's go. It takes a bit. It takes a bit, but Don't worry about what other people's pockets are. You have no idea what their funds are. So you know what you're bringing to the table. Don't start too low, but here's the thing, you can always go up. All right? So don't feel bad. The third thing was the materials that you need. Make sure you got that organizer, especially how you're going to collect your payments. Try to stay away from invoices as best you can. So you don't have to go chasing after anybody. Then the fourth one was the policies, like the terms and conditions, if you want to call it um, a contract with your pricing. Also, if you are going to do a website, make sure you have that privacy policy on there because you can be dinged for that if anyone does any kind of weird investigation. Okay. And then the fifth part is just tell everybody. Tell it. Don't hold it back. All right. So going to the comments. All right. So biggest takeaways. Actually, let me back up a little bit. Um, oh, so I made up 200 flyers to hand out. Oh, let me show that. Okay, I made up 200 flyers to hand out to the fourth and fifth grade graders at our school. Good. Hand them out tomorrow. Awesome. Yes. Put it in their little hands or put it in their backpack. Well, you know the backpack is like the black hole, but it's the end of the year. Yeah. Okay. So if you can with kids, see if you can sneak with the parents. If you can get them while before they leave school, you know how parents are out there, that would be your best bet. So it's in the hands of the parents. If not, you can also have their counselors to see if they can send like a quick because they have a list of everybody. They can send like a quick email and just like have that flyer be electronic and just have your counselor send it out. It's not the principals. They're not the ones that run the school. Here's another secret. Parent Teachers Association or athletic boosters. They're the ones that run the school. Let's stop tripping. There's like a couple principals that are near and dear to my heart. But when push comes to shove, Parent Teachers Association, flag boosters, they're the ones that run it because athletes, they have to maintain their GPA. And now that they have the NIL, like some of them are making money all over the place. It's all kinds of cray cray. But they have to maintain a certain GPA. So even when they're starting in middle school. So they're still talking about GPAs in middle school as athletes because they have to make that transition. So we'll try that. Big takeaway, wishing you all the best. Yes. The legal part, yes. I know. It's that's the whole part, the legal part, the trademark, the LLC, yes. Here's the next part. People should hear you, see you, and know you. Yes. You have to put it out there. I'm sorry. You guys are amazing. But I know it's a fear like, oh, I don't think my hair and the way I look like this. I could have easily put a filter on. Easily. Well, it looked like Dynasty. I was looked so fabulous. But why? Why should I show a fake side? Everyone shows their fake side. Why not you be the one that's real? The same. Um, the next takeaway is like, what are you trademarking? Okay, so you're trademarking your name, you're trademarking yourself, you're branding yourself. And I know it sounds very aggressive, but you are basically being a representation. Like this tutoring business is a part of you. So whatever you put into it, you're going to get out of it 3 times over. Okay. So if you're going to give it garbage, you're going to get garbage. Like if you're just going to say, oh, I'm $20 an hour and you live in the States, yeah, you're going to get like random people that think that they are paying you $20 and they're expecting champagne, whereas they're paying you like Bud Light. So it's kind of like, what's going on? So that's why I always go back to that whole valuing of yourself. Thankfully, I'm going to work full time this year and tutor, and my husband is my budget. See, that's the thing. And that's one of the other things I always mention because a lot of people, when they see these people making all this money, they don't realize that they're not doing it by themselves. Like they're not a single, like for me, I'm single now. Well, yeah, it's a whole thing. But for the most part, like they have partners that are lawyers and doctors, and this is just their little side hustle. And whatever money that they get from it, it's great. But they're not like, this is my life. Like for me, tutoring, this is how I eat. Okay. As you can tell with the triple chin, we're working on it. But but for right now, this is how I eat. This is how I sleep. This is how I'm able to keep the air conditioner on when it's slightly warm outside. This is how I keep the lights on. So, like for me, this is how I improve my hunger. Like this is what I do in order to not only help the child out, but also to help myself out. So I have to think of myself as I'm doing these things. Um, Here's one person, my business name, I want to register. Good. Okay. Make sure you double check that no one else has that name. Go to your state, go to that department. I got to look at the paper again. Department of Assessment and Taxation. I should know it by heart. All right. Another person, they all have folders that say take home. Okay. Most of them will take home, but also do a post on our school website. All right, perfect. Yes. Yeah, put it out there. At least you're at a school that will allow you to post on their website. That's huge. Okay. My principal says it's okay. Beautiful. You're beautiful. I try. Um, it is $25 at our state. Where are you at? Where are you at? That it costs $25. Trademark your name. All right. I'll let it go. I know. Maryland, we're just extra. We're just so extra. But all right. So this is awesome. Couple things, and then I'm gonna wrap up. I swear. Like this is supposed to be like an hour, but have to be extra with everything. All right. So there's three essential platforms. Like if you don't do anything else with your tutoring business, go to and have these in your back pocket. So the first thing I like to say is to have a Facebook business page. I know a lot of us have Facebook. We have issues with Facebook. I am not a huge lover of Facebook. I understand like Facebook and Instagram, if you have both, it's nice because whatever I post on Facebook can actually go to Instagram and vice versa. So I don't have to like double post all the time. Um, but it's good to have a business page where you can send people. Now, when you do the page, don't make it into like a dumping ground. Don't be like, this is cool. Let me put it in my page. This is great. If it's something that you know you would like to share, if it's something that you know you want parents to go to and they can always come at that spot, I like to have that around. For me, since I'm able to talk to more tutors, I'm starting to get more tutors going into my ACG math tutoring page than my personal page, but it's nice to have it because eventually you're going to grow it into something. So, like if people want to reach out and you want to put a post out, some groups won't let you post. It's annoying because you're just like, you can go to a parent group and you can talk to admin and say, I want to join your group. I am a math tutor, but at the same time, I want to respect your rules. But would there be a day? And some of them will give you like the third Sunday on a or the third Saturday of the month, and you're like, I got to calculate this every time. So that's why I have a big calendar on my wall to indicate which Facebook group can I post when I'm doing. But when you go to some of them, don't go under your business page. If you are going to go to a group, go under your personal page. Because when you interact, you want to just interact as you. Like I'll interact as Audrey. But if I see someone that says, I'm really struggling, I wish I had someone to help my child that's in third grade. Okay. I don't do third grade, but I know someone who does. Would you like their information so you can connect? That's what I like to do. I like to be the connector. That's weird way that I do things. But I listen to those conversations. And sometimes I don't always go to parent groups. I go to groups where I am interested in. Like I'm interested in the basketball group. So I always see what goes on with those student athletes. And then I'll talk to them. And sometimes I'll just I'll put a post up and say, when did you guys loved basketball? Like when did your love of basketball come into play or something weird like that? And people will chime in. And then I will talk to them. I'm like, well, how's your child academically? And then some of them are like, oh, he's struggling. I don't know what to do. Let me talk to you. This is what I do. And that's how I really talk to other parents. And I'm not being salesy. Like I get involved into the group. And then if I want to progress, I can progress into that. Okay. So that's one thing I definitely like to do. I like to have that Facebook business page. So when people know that, hey, this is my business page, this is what I do. Here's some examples. Here's a video of me doing a tip. Here's a video of me doing a sample lesson, and then at least I can promote there. And then as you're talking with a live that you're going to do your own or a video that you do on your personal page, you can lead people to your business page. So you can kind of keep it separate a little bit. All right, let me see some comments before I go. All right. Oh, Georgia. I know, $25. She's in California. It's 70. Oh, all right. I'm in the wrong state. Yeah, I don't let, and this is one comment, it's like, yeah, I don't let many people on my personal pages for family drama. We gotta let the share the drama. All right. And that's what it is. Like let's kind of separate it, and that's all. Everything is relative, right? So that's number one. Number two, we got three of these, right? Canva. I don't know how I lived life without Canva. Like seriously, if you do not have a Canva page and you are a teacher, remember you guys can get a free, especially in the States, you can get a free Canva. All you have to do is have proof that you're a teacher. I used my certification. Okay. I still have my certification. Remember what I told you earlier? It took me a long time to get that thing. You think I'm going to just leave it alone? Heck no. Definitely not. This summer, I'm going to have to do like 3 more credits just to keep it going. But Canva, I mean, I do my flyers, I do anything and everything. And now there's an AI piece in Canva. If you go under docs for documents, there's something called doc write. Wait. Oh, I wish I could switch over to do it. It's Magic Write. There we go. With Magic Write, it's an AI system. You ask them, like if you want to do a post, for me, again, I'm a math person. English, I'm trying. I'm really trying. But there's times I don't know what to write. You can ask this AI to write maybe 5 posts about your tutoring business. You hit enter, bada boom, bada bing, there's 5 posts. If you got to tweak, you can tweak. It doesn't matter. Most of the time, I didn't have to tweak because you just want to draw attention to people with your post. You don't have to get into awful, philosophical, deep-hearted posts. Like sometimes it's just something simple like, hey, here's a testimonial that I got from a parent today, or just something and what hashtags you can use. You can ask it and it'll generate it in minutes. And then you can schedule those posts so that will free up more time for you to do what you need to do, which is tutor. It's amazing. So I am a huge, huge fan of Canva. I've done my business cards through Canva. I like get 100 cards for like $11 or something like that. I think it's like about that much. I haven't, again, it's been a minute since I've done it. If I want to do like my t-shirts, I can do my t-shirts through there. I can print if I want to make it professionally done, but you really don't have to. All that. Like Canva is amazeballs. Um, Where do they post to? So for me, I have it on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. I don't know why. I'm still trying to figure Pinterest out. I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, Twitter. Um, what was the other one? Because Tumblr is another one. And there's one other one that I'm not familiar with. It's not Snapchat, but I can't remember what one it was. But basically, the main ones is like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And sometimes for me, Pinterest, I'll post on there. So you can set it up once you click and you just say where you're going. Pinterest. Oh yeah, those rabbit holes. All of a sudden, you're like, why am I looking at jean shorts again? I haven't worn jean shorts in forever, but I'm watching videos about jean shorts. Yeah. But it's nice that it will actually do it for you. You can post multiple times if you want. You know how everyone's like, you gotta post like 20 times a week. No, you don't. If you want to post like once a week, you can. You can do the scheduling. Have the scheduling, it'll go out. And if you want to do a random reel, you can do a random reel like once a week. Go ahead. You don't want to make it crazy. Don't get crazy with it. Do what you can. I know a lot of people say you should be posting 3 or 4 times a day. It's because they got VAs that's doing the posting for them 3 or 4 times a day. And then back up with the VAs. Don't do the VAs right away. You need to get your hands dirty when it comes to this business. Make sure you get your hands dirty, that you're doing the posting, you're doing the creation, even though you're using the AI. You're doing some of the promotion, you're making your flyers, because if you don't know how you want things done and then you get a VA, you're wasting money, because now you just basically gave your business to some random person. Then they're just going to put some stuff together, and then it's going to be not you. It'll be more so them. For me, I had a VA at one point, and she was awesome. God love her. But my thing is, I didn't give her enough guidance, and I had to learn from that. So I'm like, look, let me get my hands dirty before I get myself a VA to kind of help out. Let's see. Why are people trying to call me now? Okay. It's almost like that time. Okay. Everyone wants to call me. Like, I'm live. What's going on? All right. So hopefully everything's gonna be back now. All right. So that's Canva. And the last one is Google My Business. So if you do not have, let's see, hopefully it's all right now. Okay. So if you don't have Google My Business, I'm not saying you're missing out. It would be nice to have, because then you can actually, it comes with a website. It's advertising, because if you really think about it, when you join anything, if you're trying to do a search, right? You're trying to do a search, and here's the thing. You're going to go to two places. You're either going to go to Google or you're going to go to YouTube. So for me, I'm going to go to Google. I Google everything. I Google my own name. I Google basically every single solitary thing. So why not be on Google My Business? One, it's free. Okay. It's just another place for you to do your advertisement. It's another way that you can get your SEOs, so your search engines, so your hashtags. So when people are doing a search, they can find you a lot quicker, right? So that's one of the reasons why I really do like Google My Business, because I can have my reviews on there. I'm learning that I can transfer my reviews from Google onto my Facebook. So I'm working on that recently. But I think Google My Business, if you take a look at it, it's a free thing. You just have to get verified. And all they do is they'll send you like a postcard or something with a code on it after you sign up for a couple weeks. And then boom, like you'll get your verification, and then everything's all hunky dory, right? So I kind of like Google My Business a little bit. So, all right, that's the general. I don't want to do any more. There's more. I didn't want to do any more because we'll be here until 10 o'clock at night. Um, but all in all, if you need anything, like I have my own Facebook group now. It's called From the Classroom to Online Tutoring. So a lot of you guys know it because a lot of you guys are here and I'm going live through there. But if you are new and you're just our math teacher and you're just like, you know what, I think this tutoring thing is looking pretty happening for me. And Audrey seems pretty cool. I think she will share almost everything with me. And this will be like the place just to start. So if you're ever thinking about like joining a group, come join my group, from the classroom to online tutoring. I think I'll have my overlay for those that are watching. So, this is basically what it looks like when you come in. Just answer the questions. And trust me, if you don't answer the questions, there's only 3 total. If you don't answer the questions, I'm not letting you in right away. So I will actually call you or message you to say, hey, why don't you come on in, answer the questions so I can let you in, because I really want to get to know you and to see how things are going. Now, to wrap up, this is the next thing that's starting, and I'm starting this in January. Oh, got a comment. Hold on. I know. I'm sorry. I need to go to bed too. Um, so if anything, this is what's as another thing that's starting. I'm going to be starting a mastermind. I know. And if you thought all this was crazy, you're going to have me for like 6 weeks. Okay. So starting June 18th, I'm going to start my first official mastermind. I did the beta version last fall. And it's basically the same. I'm going to help you step by step. Like I'm looking at how you want to design your business. So giving suggestions, giving some growth, how to the expansion, all that is there. All you have to do is go in the chat and there is a link that says solo 2. So I put it up here. If you click on it, this is what my solo 2 looks like. It's just like a LinkedIn or a link tree. And if you scroll down, you can actually have the option of email me or you can text me. You can get on my social media. But then under the label where it says what's new, you should see the first one. That's a click to the mastermind. So if you want, let's have a connection call. It's a 40-minute connection call, really 45 minutes the way I talk. Of you sharing with me, what is your business? What is your goals? Like where you want to go with it? And maybe if the mastermind can be helpful to you, yes or no. So if you want to click on that link, it'll take you right to it. There's a couple videos on there. Of course, I'm going to be tweaking some stuff on there because you know what? Everything isn't perfect. So, and that's basically it for this evening. I think I have talked myself to death and I talked to myself to you guys. Hopefully, you guys got a lot out of this. And again, if you're in the group, in my Facebook group, and you have questions, please don't hesitate whatsoever to ask questions. I'm always here. All right. So I'll send you my website link earlier. Okay. If you get a minute, I would love some feedback. Oh, of course. Definitely. Definitely. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for stopping in. Sorry that I made it way longer than I wanted to, but this is probably only going to be part 1. Maybe there might be a part 2 next week. But starting June the 13th, I'm going to do my summer months. So I'm going to be on a lot earlier. So I'm thinking like around 5 o'clock, maybe 6. All right. So you guys have a great day, a great weekend, great night, depending on where you're at. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right. Bye now.